Salil Chaudhary presenting my thesis seminar on stability of maintenance of male sterility and fertility restoration in pigeonpea under different environments. As my friend Uttam has introduced the pigeonpea crop very well, but I would like to point out some following points that pigeonpea is important food legume crop of tropical and subtropical areas.
Yeah, the time is short.
Here we can say the global scenario of pigeonpea production.
Come to your metal method. Okay.
There are major problems in CMS-based hybrid seed production is the instability of expression of male sterility, and the another one is instability of fertility restoration. Therefore, my study was aimed with the following objectives, which are to evaluate the variability for fertility status in different hybrids and CMS lines, to study the stability of cytoplasmic genic male sterile lines, to study the stability of fertility status of different hybrids under varying environmental conditions, and the last one is to identify the stable hybrids and sterile CMS lines. Now, methods and material. I have used 10 hybrids with 2 checks for study the stability of fertility restoration, and 9 CMS lines were studied for their expression of male sterility. The trial was sown at 3 different locations as well as in 3 different dates of sowing for expression of male sterility. The trial was planted in a randomized complete block design with 2 replications. The row to row spacing was maintained. Okay. Here the material details are given. 10 hybrids and 2 standard varietal checks. These are the 9 CMS lines. 5 were taken from ICRISAT Patancheru, and the other 4 CMS lines were taken from US Bangalore. 10 hybrids, 2 standard varietal checks were sown at 3 different locations, which is ICRISAT Patancheru, BAU Ranchi, and the College of Agriculture, Sihor, MP. And the 9 CMS lines were planted in 3 different dates of sowing, which were 7 August 2012, 11 September, and 18 October 2012, to study their stability for expression of male sterility. Observations recorded, as I have to study only the stability of fertility restoration and expression of CMS lines. So the only pollen fertility and sterility status of the CMS lines and hybrids were studied, and number of fertile and sterile plants that expressed by hybrids in different hybrids and CMS lines were studied. Plants were categorized into 4 groups according to their pollen fertility status. The plants which had more than 80% pollen fertility considered as fully male fertile plants, and the plants which had 40 to 80%, 10 to 39%, and below 10% were considered as partial male fertile plants, partial male sterile plants, and complete male sterile plants. Assessment of pollen fertility status in hybrids. For examine the pollen fertility status, each plant of hybrids and CMS line were tested for its pollen fertility with 2% acetocarmine solution under on a glass slide and examined under a light microscope, and the fertile and sterile pollens were counted and the percent was calculated. Analysis of data obtained from the multi-location trial were transformed by using a square root transformation method and analyzed by using GenStat software. There are 2 different methods were used for stability analysis. One is based on regression given by Eberhardt and Russell, and another graphical presentation of stability given by GG biplot given by Yan et al. 2000. Now come to my results. Here the graph showing the pollen fertility status of different hybrids in at 3 different locations. We can see that ICPH 2671, 2740 and 2751, 3461 having the more than 90% pollen fertility across all the 3 locations, while the ICPH 3491 and 3494 having the minimum pollen fertility status at all the 3 different locations. It is maybe due to because the fertility restoration is governed by 2 dominant genes. So it may be because of these hybrids have 1 dominant gene and the interaction with the environments. Here the mean performance of the different genotypes at Patancheru we can see that ICPH 2671, 2740 and 3933, 3461, and both the checks had more than 90% pollen fertility, and they were shown they had 100% fully male fertile plants. So it indicates the complete fertility restoration in these hybrids. The mean performance of different genotypes at Ranchi. Here we can see that the 3477 and 2751 is also expressed more 100% fully male fertile plants. So it also indicates that these hybrids had complete fertility restoration. Mean performance at Ranchi. Here we can say that 6 hybrids showed more than 90% pollen fertility and 100% fully male fertile plants. Pooled analysis of variance over the locations showed that the genotypic difference was significant for all the characters, but the environment effect was significant for all characters except for partial male sterile plants. Therefore, the gene to interaction was non-significant for partial male sterile plants. Stability analysis firstly done by Everett-Russell's model. Okay. So here is the stability variance analysis of variance by Everett and Russell's model. We can see that the genotypic difference is highly significant for all the characters. Genotype environment plus genotype into environment interaction is also significant for all characters, which is partition into environment linear, genotype into environment linear, and pool deviation, which is also significant for all characters. Now we come to stability parameters of different characters. We found that ICPH 2671, 2740, 3933, 3461 were stable for pollen fertility percentage as well as fully male fertile plants. Stability parameters for partial male fertile plants showed that ICPH 2671 and 2740, 3933 had no partial male fertile plants, and these are absolutely stable for the fertility restoration. We can see that complete male sterile plant, there are 7 hybrids were there where the complete male sterile plants were not found. So these hybrids had complete fertility restoration. GG biplot, a graphical presentation of stability. Here I put out some extra points. GG biplot is an effective tool to study the mega environment analysis. Mega environment analysis, which one wear pattern, whereby specific genotype is recommended for a specific location. We can also the GG biplot gives about the mega environment analysis. Another one is it is evaluate the genotype also, as compared it compares the mean performance as well as the stability. And environment evaluation, the relationship between environments, it can also be expressed by GG biplot technique. Explanation of GG biplot technique. Here I put up some points to explain the GG biplot technique. The genotype more close to the average environmental coordinate indicates higher mean performance. The perpendicular line, which is average to the average environmental exit, represents the stability of genotype. The genotype on the right side of the perpendicular line shows higher mean, and the left side of the genotypes showed lower mean performance. A stable genotype should have both higher mean performance as well as least vector length from average environmental coordinate, average environmental axis. An ideal genotype, which is located at the center of concentric circle, which is put it in the graph, is one that has both high mean performance and least vector length. Is called stability. Angle between the two environmental vectors represent the correlation coefficient between them. The acute angle less than 90 degree represent the positive correlation between environments. Obtuse angle less than 90 degree is so the 90 negative correlation, and the right angles no correlations. Here the GG biplot for pollen fertility. In this graph we can see that this one is the average environmental axis. Here this is the perpendicular line which show the stability. These lines show the gene to interaction for the specific genotype, and this is the concentric circle, which is the genotype which is near to this concentric circle can be considered as ideal genotype. And here the environmental vectors, so it explains the correlation between the environments. this angle should be, if this angle is below 90 degree, means there are positive correlation between the environments and they are sharing the similar environmental conditions. Here we can see that the Patancheru environment is discriminating a bit among the all three environments. So the genotypes is so far from Patancheru, it means the genotypes were performed less in Patancheru as compared to Sihor and Rachi for pollen fertility percentage. These two hybrids has minimum pollen fertility at all three locations and has the greater gene-to interactions, and it shows the instability of these two genotypes. Here we can see that the genotype 1, 2, 11, 12, 6 has the minimum gene-to interaction, and shows that these genotypes are stable, and these genotypes are near to the Sihor and Rachi, which indicates that the genotypes performed in Sihor and Rachi locations. Here the GG biplot for fully male fertile plants, which is explain the similar thing, that the genotype 1, 2, 6. Okay. Hybrids ICPH 2671, 2740, 3933 and 3461 had 100% fully male fertile plants. It indicates the complete fertility restoration. Both the methods showed that ICPH 2671, 2740, 3933 and 3461 were stable for fertility restoration. Now come to the stability of male sterility, expression of male sterility under three different dates of sowing, which indicates that here the present pollen fertility status of different CMS lines under three different dates of sowing. We can see that the sterility status of ICPA 2039, 2043 and 2051, 2092 BRG3A, HYC3A and BRG1A, TTB7A is more than 95% pollen sterility. Means these lines express complete pollen sterility at all three different locations. But ICPA 2047 expressed the minimum sterility in all three different dates of sowing. Pooled analysis of variance showed that there was no environment effect on expression of complete male sterile plants, and the genotype into environment interaction was non-significant for expression of complete male sterile plant, but it was significant for expression of pollen sterility, because the pollen sterility is very sensitive to the environment. Analysis of variance for pollen sterility by Barrett and Russell show the significant genotype into environment linear relationship. They are all the significant for pollen sterility. Stability parameters for pollen sterility showed that all the CMS lines except 2047 and 2051 were stable for expression of male sterility. Here also the GG biplot for pollen sterility, which showed that all the three different dates of sowing were these genotypes were stable in all three different dates of sowing, while the first sowing is discriminating among three different sowings. The genotypes perform less expression of male sterility in first sowing as compared to second and third sowing, because the first sowing was on 7th of August, so therefore the genotypes get the minimum temperature at the time of flowering, therefore the expression of sterility was less. CMS lines ICPA 2043, 3933, 209 were highly stable across the different dates of sowing with more than 99% sterility. The non-significant gene-to interaction was found for complete male sterile plants, showed that all the CMS lines were stable for expression of male sterility. Here the conclusion of my study is the hybrids ICPH 2671, 2740, 3933 and ICPH 3461 were stable for fertility restoration. Most of the hybrids showed high pollen fertility at Ranchi compared to other two locations, because the Ranchi environment is more cooler than other two environments. Therefore, the pollen fertility was higher as compared to other two locations. All the CMS lines expressed high pollen fertility, more than 95% in different dates of sowing. The stability of CMS lines should be evaluated. Here I have put some suggestions that the stability of CMS lines should be evaluated on different locations for expression of male sterility to ensure their stability on various locations also. Stable hybrids for expression of fertility can be tested for further yield performance, and promising ones can be released. I would like to thank you.
Right, yeah. Because we are running out of time.
But questions are important. We should be exposed to
Question answers. So, first opportunity to students.
Yes.
Which are the main important environmental factors which affect the expression of the male sterility?
Actually, in my observations, the temperature was the main temperature and day length was main environmental factors which affect the pollen fertility status. Because in Patancheru locations, at the time of 50% flowering, where I studied my pollen fertility study, the temperature was high. It's more than 12 degrees centigrade. But at Ranchi, it was near about 5 degrees centigrade, and the rain was also at that time. So it may be because of the low temperature, the pollen fertility was high at Ranchi.
Nice presentation.
Yes.
I want to know we can develop in PGMS and TGMS PGMS and PGMS and TGMS lines.
Okay.
Temperature sensitive male sterility
Yes, sir.
and photoperiod sensitive male sterility.
Yes.
Similar to wheat and other rice crop.
Okay.
And we can develop. You have seen this type of facility any?
So because we have one cytoplasm, Cajanus seraceus, which is the highly sensitive to the environment.
I will give answer. We do have. Okay. So today we are going to discuss a project on that. We have environment sensitive male sterile line, but not from this cytoplasm. That is from seraceous cytoplasm, and very clear-cut differences are coming. And we have already put up a publication on that. So it's a good question. Let other people
Thank you, Sunil, for your nice presentation.
Thanks.
And I just want to extend the Mallikarjun's question. So, from your study, will you recommend the hybrid seed production in pigeonpea in the cooler region?
Yes, nice question. Hybrid seed production in cooler region is not recommended, but the temperature should be below 10 degrees centigrade at the time of flowering to get the higher yield in hybrids.
So, as your study.
seed production, not higher. He's questioning on seed production.
Okay.
Whether
Yes,
you-
seed production should be. Yes, thank you. Seed production should be in cooler environments for the successful seed set.
Actually, in case of pigeonpea,
seed production is done through insects, not by wind. And we have to have environment which is more suitable for bee activity in that area. If bee are plenty, then hot set is very good. But it should not be too cool, as you mentioned, that we should not be 1 degree, 2 degree like that. So insects should enjoy the thing. And what happens in this case, when it comes to flower and all that, that is month of January, February, I don't know what
Yes.
when it flowers. That time temperatures around 10, 12 degree. So they are quite good for seed production.
So, should you prefer Ranchi location over ICRISAT location for hybrid?
No, we cannot say like that. Because we have to see where honeybees are more active. It's not that temperature will make difference to us, but honeybees will definitely make a difference. We have done seed production in Ranchi, commercial seed production, so we did not face any problem there also, and here also. It all depends on honeybee and growth of the plant and all that.
But temperature, does it affect the fertility restoration as he?
No problem. You're free to ask question. Okay, anybody, any other question? You ask question. No? Difficult one.
Thank you, Sunil. Thank you, Sunil, for doing the study. I am you did so many study in yes, you know very well. But I want to ask one question. If we collect the pollen from morning, same location, morning, evening, or afternoon, what is the difference coming in fertility of the
Good question.
Actually, that I have told that pollen fertility is highly sensitive to the environment. If you will collect in the afternoon, where the temperature is high above the 20 degree, the pollen fertility will be less. So the appropriate time for pollen study is 9 to 10.
But
pollen,
why? But why? His question is why?
how to say this is the good suppose we will collect evening, afternoon, this is not good. Because we will collect pollen any time. Our result is coming safe at morning, evening, afternoon. But please, we are choosing one time, only morning time. And according to my study,
Yes.
according to your study, I will tell you. And what is the reason for that? So we will collect morning, result is coming good.
Yes.
Afternoon, evening, result is not coming good.
Actually,
You should also know the answer. Okay.
Anyway, yeah, you want
Yeah, very interesting question, and both know answer. I know that.
actually, sir, but the genes which are responsible for pollen sterility expression are sensitive to the environment, and with the high environment, they cannot express the pollen sterility at proper level. So maybe it is.
what it is amounting to release of pollen grains,
Yes.
pollen load, what we call. Okay. So,
Especially in the morning.
yeah, especially in the morning because of dew, because of run problem, sometimes it doesn't open. When temperatures are very cool, that's why we recommend 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, to get more pollen production.
Okay.
So those kind of things are there, but there is no room for that. That's what we call.
Yes.
Okay, now I will ask last question to you.
Yes.
If you don't reply, you will not get certificate.
Okay, sir.
Okay, now you are a breeder.
Yes.
You have a very high yielding hybrid you got from his data,
Yes.
but it is not having good pollen sterility or stability.
Yes.
What you are going to do? Very good hybrid, it is giving you 50 quintal yield or 5 ton yield,
Yes.
but it's not stable for fertility restoration. What you are going to do?
Sir, for these, the male sterile lines and the male and female, both the lines should be pure. The male line can be pured by individual plant selection and selfing of individual plants for 1 or 2 or 3 generations. And when it can be able, after the 3 generation selfing, it will be able to restore the fertility in hybrids. So it may be become the stable hybrids for fertility restoration.
What will happen? Nothing will happen. You told yourself.
Yes. So this should be, we have to find out some another restorer lines for this particular.
Try to reconstitute this hybrid and improve the male parent into just 4 digits.
Yes, yes.
Anybody else? Now on the final one. Some question? Yeah, they have already asked question. Now he is waiting for their seminar. No, you.
Okay.
Okay, you. Now your turn.
Okay, so thank you so much
Thank
for
you, ma'am.
for a very good seminar. And I think since it's masteral, there's so much more room for improvement, especially with delivery. So I'm sure that as you go on practicing and as you go on presenting papers, your skills and presentations and, you know, public speaking will also improve. And I really congratulate you for your hard work done and for the science you have delivered. So we will now provide you your certificate. May we ask your supervisor, scientist supervisor over there, so we have a background of. So have you submitted all your reports? It's with us or not yet? Everything is with Damodar? Okay. Okay. So sir, yes. Okay.
I don't know if you name it.
So this is your certificate. So sir, no. So I don't have to read. I think, you know, it's nice to have this certificate.
That's right. So here we have photograph of Uttam also.
Yeah. So
So we have photograph, right? These are signature from our DG, Director General, Dr. William Vidal, and it says that they completed this MSc degree with high honors and high accomplishment. Okay. Thank you very much.
and we have the same certificate with this nice photo, looking like Dr. Sakyanata.
Yeah, good photo. bit towards science. And PhD will make you full scientist. Okay. So I request to both of you, please don't break the template. Please don't do that. If you do that, you will be in trouble yourself. Try to write yourself, try to understand yourself. Okay. Don't do that. That technology is very, very dangerous. I tell you in ICRISAT, because one report, I got report from pigeonpea inside the house. And this one is from a scientist. So don't do that. Never do that in your life. And again, congratulations to you. I think one picture will go for students together.
You get your certificate as well.
Yeah. Okay, stand here. Stand here. Very good.
Okay, just that way up there.